Hey, Mom. I think I'm in Hollywood.
Hollywood?
No, that's the crazy part. It's just a neighborhood.
There's an old American saying, seeing is believing. For millions of Europeans, America has always felt strangely familiar. Not because they've lived here, but because they've spent a lifetime visiting through a television screen. The quiet streets in Home Alone, the bikes racing through neighborhoods in E.T., the tree-lined roads in The Wonder Years, the backyard barbecues, the basketball hoops, the white fences, the 4th of July flags. For decades, many believed Hollywood had polished reality, making America look cleaner, bigger, and more beautiful than it really was. Then one day, they landed in America. They rented a car, left the airport, merged onto a freeway, and about 40 minutes later, Hollywood suddenly didn't feel like fiction anymore because it looked exactly like this. Not Beverly Hills, not a movie studio, not a millionaire's neighborhood, just another American suburb. And for many first-time visitors, that's almost impossible to believe. Imagine you spent your entire life in cities where history surrounds you. Buildings hundreds of years old, narrow streets where two cars squeeze past each other, apartments stacked floor upon floor, neighborhood cafes where everyone seems to know each other. Then, suddenly, you turn onto an American suburban street. The first thing you notice isn't the houses, it's the silence. Not an empty silence, a peaceful one. The kind of silence interrupted only by birds singing, a distant lawnmower, or the soft splash of sprinklers watering bright green grass. One traveler from England described it perfectly. It felt like somebody had pressed pause on the world. Not because nobody lived there, quite the opposite. Life was happening everywhere. It was simply unhurried. Americans rarely stop to think about it. Why would they? When you've seen something every day since childhood, it stops feeling remarkable. As the old saying goes, you can't see the forest for the trees. But fresh eyes notice everything. The perfectly trimmed lawns, the flowers blooming beside the mailbox, the basketball hoop standing patiently over the garage, the family SUV parked in the driveway, the American flag gently moving in the afternoon breeze. To most Americans, it's Tuesday. To many Europeans, it feels like stepping inside a movie. One visitor from Germany admitted something that made Americans laugh. He kept looking around for the film crew. He wasn't joking. Everything felt too perfect, too familiar, too cinematic. He had seen neighborhoods like this his entire life, only never in real life. At least, that's what he thought. Hollywood hadn't fooled him. Hollywood had simply been filming reality all along. There's another American expression that says, home is where the heart is. In suburbia, you begin to understand why. These neighborhoods weren't designed to impress tourists. Most tourists never come here. They don't appear on postcards. Tour buses don't stop outside these houses. No souvenir shops, no famous landmarks, just families. Ordinary people living ordinary lives. Ironically, that's exactly what makes them extraordinary. Then came the houses, or perhaps more accurately, the amount of space around them. One British traveler laughed while taking pictures. Back home, this would probably be a millionaire's house. Americans smiled. Around here, someone might simply call it our starter home. Different countries, different expectations, different definitions of normal. There's another American saying Americans love: go big or go home. No one officially designed suburbia around that phrase, but looking at many neighborhoods, you'd be forgiven for thinking they did. Large front yards, wide driveways, big backyards, room for children to run, room for family gatherings, room for life. Because unlike many older European cities that grew over centuries, many American suburbs were built during a time when land wasn't the biggest limitation. Dreams were. But something else catches almost every visitor's attention. The garages. They're impossible to ignore. Sometimes they're the first thing you see. 2-car garages, 3-car garages, doors so large they almost become part of the home's identity. One traveler looked at a garage, then looked back at his hotel room and quietly joked, "The garage is bigger than where I'm sleeping." Americans laughed because for many families, the garage isn't just where the car lives, it's where bicycles wait for summer, where old Christmas decorations quietly gather dust, where dads spend Saturday afternoons fixing something that wasn't really broken, where teenagers learn to change a tire, where forgotten boxes hold little pieces of family history. As another old saying goes, if these walls could talk, American garages would have stories for decades. Then there are the driveways, such an ordinary thing, unless you've never seen neighborhoods filled with them. In many suburbs, the driveway becomes more than concrete. It becomes a stage. Children learning to ride a bicycle, parents washing the family car on a sunny Saturday, teenagers shooting basketball until sunset, neighbors stopping for conversations that were supposed to last 5 minutes but somehow turned into an hour. It's amazing how many memories fit into a strip of concrete. If you grew up in America, you probably remember hearing one sentence that instantly ended every summer adventure. Be home before the streetlights come on. Every kid knew exactly what that meant. One last bike ride, one more basketball game, one final race down the sidewalk before the neighborhood slowly settled into evening. For many Americans watching this, that sentence probably brought back a memory you hadn't thought about in years. Funny how that works. Sometimes, a neighborhood remembers things we forget. But Europeans weren't finished being surprised, because the houses, the garages, and the driveways were only the beginning. There was something waiting quietly at the end of every driveway, something Americans pass without even noticing anymore. Yet to visitors, it became one of the most recognizable symbols of the American dream. A simple little box standing beside the road, waiting to tell its own story. There it stood. Not tall, not expensive, not flashy, just a small mailbox at the end of a driveway. To Americans, it's almost invisible. You drive past hundreds of them without giving them a second thought. But one visitor from France stopped, smiled, and said, "I've seen these my whole life, but only in movies." It's funny how something so ordinary can become so iconic. That little mailbox has appeared in countless films and television shows. Birthday cards, Christmas letters, college acceptance letters, a newspaper tossed on the lawn before sunrise. Sometimes life's biggest moments begin in the smallest places. As Americans like to say, good things come in small packages. Sometimes they arrive in a mailbox. Drive a little farther and another surprise quietly appears: the front porch. In many parts of the world, the front door is simply an entrance. In suburban America, the front porch has always been something more. It's where neighbors wave without making an appointment, where grandparents sip lemonade on warm summer evenings, where kids wait impatiently for friends to knock, where Halloween candy is handed out one smiling face at a time. There's an old American expression, pull up a chair. The front porch is exactly that, an invitation, not to strangers, but to community. One traveler from Scotland said something beautifully simple. People don't seem hidden here. Maybe that's why front porches have become one of the quiet symbols of suburban America, not because of the wood or the paint, but because of the conversations they've witnessed. And then there were the flags. 1, 2, sometimes an entire street full of them. To many European visitors, seeing an American flag outside so many homes comes as a surprise. Yet for many Americans, especially around the 4th of July, Memorial Day, or Veterans Day, it's simply tradition. Not everyone displays one, and not every neighborhood looks the same. America is far too diverse for that. But when visitors notice flags gently moving in the breeze, they often realize they're looking at more than decoration. They're looking at a small expression of identity. One visitor quietly admitted, "I've never seen patriotism look so everyday." No parade, no ceremony, just a flag beside someone's front porch while the neighbor mows the lawn. Then came something Europeans almost couldn't believe: Halloween. Imagine driving through a neighborhood in late October, skeletons climbing roofs, pumpkins glowing on porches, spider webs stretching across bushes, giant inflatable ghosts waving beside mailboxes. It almost feels like the entire neighborhood agreed to become one giant movie set. Except they didn't. Families simply enjoy decorating together. Children spend weeks planning costumes. Parents secretly steal candy while pretending they're checking the bowl. And neighbors compete, not officially of course, to see who has the most creative decorations. One American father joked, "We spend 3 weeks decorating for one night." Was he exaggerating? Only a little. Of course, Halloween isn't the only tradition that makes these neighborhoods special. Summer brings another American ritual: the backyard barbecue. If you've never been invited to one, imagine this: the smell of burgers on the grill, kids running through sprinklers, someone arguing about baseball, another person insisting their homemade barbecue sauce is the best in the neighborhood, music playing softly, laughter drifting over backyard fences. As another old saying reminds us, the best memories are made around the table, or in America, around the grill. One of the biggest surprises for European visitors isn't how beautiful these neighborhoods look, it's how they feel. Safe, comfortable, predictable. Not perfect, no place is. Every neighborhood has its challenges, every community has its own stories. But there's a rhythm here that visitors often notice. Saturday morning lawnmowers, school buses arriving just after sunrise, dogs waiting by living room windows, neighbors waving from across the street. Little routines repeated so often they become traditions. As the saying goes, it's the little things. And sometimes, the little things become the big things. People often ask, why did America build neighborhoods like this? The answer isn't as mysterious as it seems. After World War II, millions of families dreamed of something simple: a home, a yard, a safe place to raise children. America had land, a growing economy, and a rapidly expanding highway system that made living outside crowded city centers possible. Developers built communities where families could put down roots. Trees grew taller, children grew older, and over the decades, those neighborhoods became part of America's identity. Hollywood noticed, television noticed, the rest of the world noticed. Eventually, those neighborhoods became the backdrop for thousands of stories, which explains why so many visitors arrive thinking they're stepping into a movie. The truth is, the movies stepped into America first. Remember that phone call at the beginning? "Mom, I think I'm in Hollywood." By now, you probably understand why. The houses, the driveways, the mailboxes, the basketball hoops, the quiet streets, the front porches. the flags, the backyard barbecues. Individually, they're ordinary. Together, they create something unforgettable. There's one final American saying that feels especially fitting. There's no place like home. For Americans, suburban neighborhoods often represent childhood, learning to ride a bike, walking to the school bus, playing catch in the front yard, hearing crickets on warm summer nights, watching fireworks from the driveway on the 4th of July. These aren't tourist attractions, they're memories. For Europeans, those same neighborhoods often feel like discovering a place they've somehow known all their lives, not because they've lived there, because they've watched generations of American stories unfold there. Movies, television, photographs, family albums. And now they're standing in the middle of it themselves. Quietly, they realized their final American trip. Hey, Mom, remember when I called and told you I thought I was in Hollywood? A soft laugh. I was wrong. It wasn't Hollywood. It was something even better. It was just everyday America. And maybe that's the biggest surprise of all. Sometimes the most extraordinary place in America isn't Times Square or the Grand Canyon or the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Sometimes it's the quiet street where a kid is shooting baskets in the driveway, where neighbors still wave, where a flag gently moves in the evening breeze, and where ordinary moments quietly become lifelong memories. Because in the end, Hollywood didn't create the American suburb, it simply borrowed its story. If you enjoyed seeing America through European eyes, subscribe and join us for the next journey. There are countless ordinary American moments that the rest of the world finds extraordinary, and we're just getting started. Until next time, thanks for watching.